But they're both involved in if we need to make a decision as to what ice cream we're bringing back, because we'll have that conversation in the next couple of weeks as we get ready for a busy season. We'll sit down and we'll discuss what's coming back for this year. I give them the autonomy to be able to make those decisions. And that changes their mind frames, their minds right now as an 8 and 13-year-old is so much further than I was at 8 and 13.
I mean, they look at what they have, all they know.
Right. And sometimes I have to remind myself that, because the other day Micah told me that he wanted to be an actor and he wants to act in LA. So, bro, you just skip right over local stuff. You just going right to LA and you want to be in movies. But when he asked for an ice cream truck,
it happened.
Right? So he's not afraid to say, I want my own ice cream shop.
His belief system is different.
Yes. His belief system is even different from my belief system. And sometimes I'm inspired by him because he can think in his mind. He knows that anything he manifests right now is going, and do you know how powerful that is?
Yes.
That is powerful to know that anything that you can really think and imagine, that it will happen.
Yes.
That is powerful. That is powerful. And I even sometimes have to check myself with that, and I'm getting better. And I just think about Mike, and I'm like, okay, well, let me just remind myself that since I'm manifesting it, it's gonna happen.
And I think a big part of that is just the fact that you have to unlearn some stuff in order to figure that out.
Yep.
He's learning it.
Yep.
Like that's just his curriculum.
Yeah.
That's part of his everyday life. So why not? Why can't he be in that?
Yeah.
And
or
whatever it is.
Yeah, right. Why can't I?
Right.
Why don't I deserve this? So it's nothing for Micah to ask to, and he has asked to ride in first class. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing, because, and then he gets so much exposure. Him and Jeremiah get so much exposure. Technology these days and YouTube and stuff. You can YouTube stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can YouTube. Jeremiah's into, he was into Bitcoins very heavily last year. So both boys, they do work in a business, but I have to make sure that they have time to be kids too. That's important, because we hit it hard that first year with the ice cream truck, and we was always working. We was always out. We was always building relationships. They needed to see my face as a CEO. They needed to see the boys. They needed to create the story and stick with the story, right? Like the main thing, let the main thing be the main thing, right? And the main thing was you had these two little black boys that was running their business in the middle of a pandemic.
And surviving.
Right.
Thriving.
Right. Thriving. And so I made sure that we did things like when we finally was blessed to be able to hire our first employee, they were involved in the process. Why shouldn't they be? Mike's the CEO. Why shouldn't they be involved? So they were there. They handed out the application. They answered, and they asked the questions. They was writing down the answers, all of that. They were so what I'm saying is their minds is, they believe anything can happen. They do believe that. And that is a blessing.
That's powerful.
It's powerful.
Because you can go your whole life without having that kind of thought process. And, the quicker you learn that, which very early on they learn that, that's just going to pay dividends when they are in a position to be their own person.
Yes.
The creativity will just flow.
Yes. It'll flow. And I believe that as parents, it's our job to give our children that environment that they can move and shake and have the autonomy to be creative. And we are supposed to support their ideas, because kids know a lot. They see a lot. And if we're not cultivating their ideas and cultivating what they're saying and what they need to be a healthy them, then we're doing our kids a disjustice. We are here to support them and to make shit happen for them. You know what I'm saying? And we need to be listening to them. So if your kid says that they want to write a book, make it happen so that your kid can write a book. It might take years for that to come to pass, that you actually see the book. But start moving and shaking in a way that you can make it happen.
Because if you do nothing, then it won't ever happen.
It won't ever happen.
And then you just crush the dream.
Yes. Yes. And then they learn at an early age about stuff that can't happen.
Right.
And so then they go and move through life doubting themselves, really struggling with fear. You know what I'm saying? And I know because those are some of the things that I struggled with. But I had to quickly overcome them because I wanted a different outcome.